Back again today with more quick horror film reviews by year. Today I am on the year 2002. Quite the loaded list today, so I'll try and keep each one brief. So I think most people, especially horror fans, know about the famous opening scene, which is fantastic in Ghost Ship. You don't really hear much about the rest of the film often, and there's maybe a reason for that. From what I remember, I don't dislike this film. It just feels like a basic low-budget ghost story otherwise. I like the setting and the premise, but for me, there wasn't much else that really stood out to me. I say it's worth a watch at least once in your lifetime, though. I would say this is a modern classic, follows a flesh-eating virus that overtakes a group of college graduates while hanging out in a cabin in the woods. Is this a great film? Not necessarily, but does a decent job with the premise, putting that paranoia into overdrive with an infection film that is over the top and bloody, but the general idea kind of hits close to home after what we went through in recent years, doesn't it? I like this one. Fucking hell. Yeah, the one with Busta Rhymes in it. And karate. Michael Myers attacking deserving reality TV show clowns in a house. There's no real thrills here. Jamie Lee Curtis even said, "Get me the fuck out." But if I said that this was the least watchable entry in the franchise, I personally would be lying because this is at least mild guilty pleasure territory for me, so likely one of the lesser known films from this list. May follows a strange vet assistant with an obsession with perfection and steady hands. This one is bizarre with the characters in particular, but it's a slow burn slasher that's worth checking out for something a little different. Not for a fun, quick-paced evening viewing, but one that should be tried. Many people name The Ring as one of the greatest horror remakes, and I won't argue with them with that. The pacing most of the time feels more like a supernatural drama or thriller than a horror film, but that does not mean that this film and its imagery did not deeply unsettle me the entire time. Plus the horror elements that are there still stand out today. I never played the Resident Evil games, to be fair, but I hear they're great. The movies, however, I'm just simply not a fan of, and I don't think many fans of the game love these either. I could be wrong, but that's kind of my consensus that I've heard. The film feels like a lackluster zombie flick without much personality, and they simply just don't hold up, at least as I see it. Moving on. One of M. Night Shyamalan's best films. I like this one, but I don't think I really appreciate it as much as most other people. Don't get me wrong, I respect it, and I love a good alien film, and this fulfills some of those cravings for me, but the journey along the way just had too many moments that I just didn't care for as much. Plus the twist doesn't really work for me either. Feel free to disagree with me, of course. Until I saw somebody mention this film recently, I thought I made this film up in my head, as I only saw it years ago when I was younger, but Demon Island, or Survival Island, follows people on a haunted island, hunted by a demon in a piñata. No, yeah, you heard that right. If I'm being honest, that sounds way too stupid not to revisit, as I remember close to nothing about this film, so if that even vaguely interests you, it's on some free streaming services, and if you're of age, no one says you have to be sober. So I've talked about the first Crocodile before from back in 2000. It's horrendous, but it's hilarious and rewatchable, at least to me. Crocodile 2 may slightly look better, maybe, but all the fun I had in the first film is nearly non-existent here, so you're just left with a more bland Killer Croc movie. Great. I think many of us have a soft spot for the live-action Scooby-Doo films, impeccable casting, and genuinely funny moments. Despite how bad these films may technically be, no one gives a shit about that. These are legendary, and I'll tolerate no hate towards them. Robin Williams was an incredible comedian, of course, may he rest in peace, but he also had a knack for the more serious films. 1 Hour Photo may be my favorite of his dramatic roles. A lonely man whose obsession with his family begins to go too far. Never a dull moment, and deeply disturbing with some heartbreaking character moments. This is an important film for anybody to watch. A fantastic zombie film with Usain Bolt zombies to really drive home that adrenaline and danger. A modern classic that will stand the test of time. It covers the zombie and the human elements pretty well.